In this video, we'll replace our front fog lights with the sequential turn signal lights from Hancho on our Tesla Model 3. These lights are also applicable for Tesla Model Y. Unlike the previous versions of fog lights, these lights do not require tapping into anything and you do not have to disassemble the side repeater camera for this. What's going on, everyone? In this video, we are going to be replacing our OEM fog light on a Tesla Model 3 with this new fog light from Hancho. These have sequential turn signal. This is really good upgrade. So I'm really excited to bring this video out to you all. Today we're gonna install it. I'm gonna show you detailed step-by-step installation guide, and I'm gonna share my honest opinion after installing this product. There are two different ways of getting this installed. One, you can remove this front bumper, just remove this entire bumper assembly, and then you'll have an easier access to the front fog light. You can remove the light, replace it with this, and put the bumper back on. Or you can also just remove this wheel, remove this fender covers here, and then you should be able to install this right here. The space is going to be a little bit tight with the wheel removal method, but it does not require removing the front bumper. Before we get started with the installation, here's a quick before and after videos. As you can see, this is a big upgrade and makes my car really stand out. Those turn signal lights are very bright and practical. In addition to the cool turn signal animation, you also get this startup animation when you first turn the fog light on these new lights. A couple of tools you will need for this installation using the wheel removal method. I'll put product links of these tools in the description of this video. Standard log wrench, some jack pads, a torque wrench is optional but highly recommended. You'll need some pry tools. I highly recommend this metal tool. Drill is optional but highly recommended. I also recommend this right angle tool, very useful for this job. Some electrical tape and scissors, a long rod to pass cable from one side to another, and of course a low profile jack. We will start by removing the right side front wheel. Put the parking brakes on to be extra safe. Use the log wrench to slightly loosen the nuts, but don't remove them yet. Now position your jack and insert the jack adapter in place and make sure it sits on top of the jack. Ensure it is secured in place. You can lift the car just enough to be able to remove the wheels. Remove the nuts and take out the wheel. Once the wheel is removed, you will have a lot of room to work with. We'll remove these liners to access the OEM fog lights. To remove the liner, we have to remove those plastic clips using a pry tool. This metal pry tool comes in very handy here. There are several of those clips you need to remove. If you somehow break some of those clips, you can pick them up at a local hardware store. Those are standard push type clips. You don't have to remove all the clips on the back side, just enough so you can roll the front liner out of the way. This will give you a clear view of the fog light. We're going to remove this entire assembly. There are some wire harnesses connected to this light that will unhook. This light is secured by 3 Torx 30 screws. One on the bottom right, one on the bottom left. There are no screws on the top left, but there is one more screw on the top right. There are also 4 clips that are holding the light into place. There are 2 on each location towards the top left. Now we'll grab our Torx 30 bit and our drill. This is where that right angle tool comes in very handy. We'll just insert the Torx 30 bit into the tool and we're able to access the screw at a 90-degree angle using our drill. Since the space is super tight here, you cannot fit a regular size drill at a straight angle. If you cannot fit your drill here, you can also use a regular screwdriver at a 90-degree angle using this awesome tool. Go ahead and remove those 3 Torx screws. Now the light will be loose at this point, but those clips on the top will prevent it from fully coming out. To get the light out, hold the light from the inside with one hand and push it from outside with your other hand. It could take some firm push to unclip those plastic clips on the top. There's just a hole in the fog light location here in the front. These are the plastic clips holding the light. There are still a few connectors we have to remove. There is one connector on the side that is going to the front ultrasonic sensor, and to remove it, just reach this plug from the fog light hole and pinch it on the back side. The plug will easily come out. Do the same thing with the bottom white plug. That one is a little stubborn, but it will come out eventually with some force. Finally, go ahead and unplug the main fog light connection. Just push down on the little tab at the end and pull the connector out. You can now safely remove the entire fog light assembly. Both of these fog lights are exactly the same size and shape. All the holes are perfectly aligned. The new one just has a lot more lights embedded into it. So this is really one-to-one swap. We'll go ahead and install the correct light to the correct side. Here we have the label right R for the right side. You just have to insert the light and align with the front hole. Once it is aligned, those clips will grab the light and secure it. Make sure to push it towards the front to further secure the light with those clips. Now go ahead and install those 3 Torx screws. Use the same tool and the method we used earlier to remove those screws. Don't forget to push those wire harnesses and secure them with the new light. We will grab this wire harness which has 3 plugs. There are 2 purple ones and 1 yellow one. This yellow plug actually connects to the long wire harness we'll install in a little bit. The plug with the longer cable goes to the driver's side, and the shorter one with 2 plugs close to each other is for the passenger side. We need to route the plug with the longer wire to the driver's side. This is where you can use a yardstick, or in my case this pull stick. We'll just use some electrical tape to secure the plug to the tip of the stick, and we'll pass the stick through the bottom part of this bumper. We can then connect the purple male connector to the female connector of the passenger side fog light. If you have 2 jacks, you can lift the other side as well and remove the wheel. However, I only have 1 jack, so I'll route the cable by simply removing those bottom fasteners on the liner. Remove the plug from the stick. Then we'll tie the yellow cable from the driver's side fog light to the tip of the stick, and we can pull that cable from the other side. The cable is long enough so it will easily reach the other side. We are ready to make the front connections. Grab the long cable harness, and it has this black plug, a white cable, and a yellow cable. We will connect the black plug to the yellow and red plug from the wire harness we connected to the fog light earlier. Then we'll grab the yellow wire from the passenger side fog light and connect to the yellow wire on this long harness. Make sure the wire is fully inserted and slide the jackets to insulate the connection. Finally, we'll connect the yellow wire from the driver's side fog light to the white wire on this long harness. Again, make sure the cable is secured and don't forget to overlap the plastic jackets. To route this long wire harness to the back of the car, first remove the air vent cover from the frunk. This will allow you to pull the wire from the top. We'll insert this wire connection through the hole that is visible from the bottom. We can then route the wire to the top. We will be inserting this wire through the firewall. You can cut a small slit on this rubber cap, or you can go through the bottom rubber cap where those orange high voltage lines pass through. We'll then grab those wires from underneath the glove box and route it through the door panel. You might have to remove the bottom glove box cover to find your wire. To do that, you have to remove these 4 plastic screws, remove the light and the speaker connection. You don't have to remove the door panels, as you can tuck this wire from the bottom. Follow this process all the way to the back, through the door pillar, and back seat door sills. Fold the back seat and remove this side seat panel by pulling on it from the top. We will then route the cable through this area and grab it from the other side. Now we'll grab these 2 cable harnesses. One of them will have a white connector and the other one will have a long white wire. The one with the short white plug will connect to the passenger side tail light, and the one with the long white wire will connect to the driver's side tail light. We will grab that harness that will connect to the passenger side tail light and connect the white connector with the male white plug we just routed from the front to the back. Then we'll reach behind the tail light and remove the tail light connection. Yours is likely going to be attached to the actual tail light, and to remove it, you just have to first pull the little tab out, and while holding that tab, pull the connector out. Connect the male end of the new harness to the female end of the tail light, and the male Tesla connection to the female connector of the new harness. We will then grab this longer white cable from the driver's side harness and push it into the white cable that we routed from the front earlier. Route the white cable harness to the driver's side tail light. You don't have to remove any panels, just tuck the wire through the panel. Follow the exact same procedure for the driver's side connector. Unhook the Tesla connector and bypass it by using the new connector. Moving to the front passenger side, we're not going to be using the OEM fog light connector, so you will just use some electrical tape to cover that connector. Clean up the wires using some electrical tape and tying the wires to the existing wire harness. Don't worry about this wire getting on the way of the wheel assembly, as this will be covered by the liners we removed earlier. Go ahead and install the liner back on. Don't forget to install all those push plastic tabs we removed earlier. Once everything is installed, as you can see, the wire is barely visible and hidden behind the liners. We'll then install the wheel and lower the jack. Make sure the wheel is very secure. This is where you can use the torque wrench to accurately apply the right amount of torque. The spec on my car says 129 foot-pound of torque. Next, we'll lift the other side and follow the exact same steps to install the fog light. Here's what it looks like after the installation. As you can see, these new lights are much brighter than the OEM lights, and of course with an added turn signal functionality. The sequential turn signal looks pretty awesome. If you look at the OEM one, it just has the light on the side and a reflector on the other side. There's a small light strip in the very middle. The new one has 5 individual bright lights, and they make the sequential turn signal. Here's another view with just the new lights on the passenger side and OEM Tesla lights on the driver's side. As you can see, the OEM light doesn't have turn signal functionality, and overall is pretty dim compared to the new lights. Just keep in mind that you do lose that ability to toggle the fog lights on and off from inside your Tesla screen. Even though you still can toggle it, nothing really happens. You can't control these new lights using that fog light on and off functionality. The fog light sign will also go away from the main Tesla screen, so when the headlights are on, the fog light sign will not be there. However, every time you turn on the headlights, these new fog lights will also turn on. That'll do it for today's video. If you thought this video was good, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Tesla mods and accessories. We go pretty in depth with these installations and create easy to follow step-by-step installation guides. I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.